Judd, you are you are someone. You are something.
I'm glad you think I'm someone, because I actually struggle with how I think people see me, but
Well, this podcast we're joined by a gamer girl, Helena. Say hello.
Hi.
Say hello louder than that.
I can't hear Judd.
Why?
She can hear me.
Oh no, I can't fucking hear Judd.
She can hear me. She's lying.
Helena's not even alive. Put these on your head. I thought I'd sorted out the technical difficulties.
Put this round your neck,
not.
you bitch.
Excuse me, Judd. I heard that.
I was telling you to kill yourself.
Oh, what's new?
Well, you're right. That isn't working, but I don't know what to do about that. I can't hear Judd either. We're already started in this podcast. What, Helena? Tell us a story.
Tell us a story about me.
About.
Tell them the story about
just
during
say
your
something
birthday
funny.
when I
Oh
stabbed your
god,
grandma.
this splitter's fucked up again. Oh my god, it's all going wrong.
It's awful.
It's all going good in the hood, right?
Yeah.
Can you hear him now?
I wonder if it's Jake. I wonder if Jake's just shit. Jake
Hi,
seems
Judd.
like shit.
We can hear you, Judd.
Hi.
No, you can't.
Yeah, we can.
No, you can't.
So why don't you? So take two. Yeah, well, we just keep this shit rolling.
Just keep it going. Just keep it going.
I'm gonna probably have to just relay what Judd's saying to you, aren't I? That's probably all that's good. So,
like an interpreter.
like an interpreter. Helena's deaf,
language.
and I'm gonna do so.
Yeah.
No. So, have you talked any more to? So, if you've listened to previous podcasts, you'll know that Judd had a conversation with a female.
Oh, and Eve.
It was scary. It was scary.
Well, don't say any more names, though.
Oh,
Don't say her last name. That's fine. It's fine. We said that by accident too last podcast. This is one of Helena's friends that Judd talked to. So first of all, is there any more follow up on that, Judd? Anything else happen?
We've literally not said anything to each other apart of like since we said that we might go out drinking sometime together. That's like nothing's been said after that.
Well, what has been said is something by this name is going to be like I'm going to pronounce this name completely wrong. Dibaticon 176 says, "What's new? I found your Games Badly Twitch channel. Cool." Tesoteric says, "Judd has a female that's not my sister." What happened?
His 14-year-old sister that I have expressed.
Hey, she might be 15
times.
now.
I do not want to do anything. Yeah, she could be. That's almost legal over here by like a year.
Deba blah blah says, "Hold on, what the fuck? It's oh god, what's happening here? What the fuck? I loved your stream, a Lotto Game Talk podcast, badly nice. I'm about to create custom emotes and sub badges for your channel. Take a look at the URL on my profile banner. Regards, by the way. By the way, okay. You're getting banned. Ban user. Yeah. You're not real." Yeah. That's what you get on Twitch.
The second that they started complimenting us, I was like, "This isn't real."
We only accept insults on this channel.
We have actually stated before we only accept insults on this channel.
So
friendly banter's not allowed. You get banned for friendly banter.
If you want to know what happened with Judd talking to a female, check out the podcast 21, I believe it is. Yeah, check out the last 21.
Check out the last episode of Dragon Ball Z where Vegeta blew up the Twin Towers.
Tesoteric says she is 15 now, so only 1 year till Judd can bang her.
Yeah,
perfect.
I see.
1 year till you can bang.
I'm grooming her now. I'm getting her ready. I'm waiting. I'm getting her ready and ripe until she's ready for me to pounce.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
That one is as well. I don't want anything to do with
once, that is a joke.
Yeah, it is.
What do you think about? Would you let Judd fuck a 15-year-old Helena?
She's got to let me do it.
What?
Yeah. You got to get permission.
Why has she got to let me do it? Shouldn't it be society and the police and the law? and my moral should let me do it.
Shouldn't it be society and the police and the law
Yeah.
that should be the person who...
Yeah, and my morals and my
I mean, the only 15 year olds
sense
I
of
know
judgment.
would like cross the street to avoid Judd. So
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
they would. Which I'm glad because 15-year-old all kids
olds
are
I do, and I'm
gross.
going to warn them against you.
It's good. I don't want 15-year-olds anywhere near me. They're disgusting
Can you hear
creatures.
him at all if I do that?
Yeah. If you...
What? Okay, I've got an idea. So you've not talked to her since. Are you planning on talking to this girl at all?
Maybe there's been no. I mean, there's been no opportunity for conversation. I just don't want to. I don't really want to message her out of the blue and just be like, "Yo, what up?" Like, you know, I've had a chat to her. I've offered to take her on a date, and then that's sort of it. I don't want to like just message her when I see no point to message her.
Yeah, but if you got like, if you're doing something, like if we're going out at any point, you could like check in with her, being like, "Oh, are you around Barnsley this weekend or something?"
Yeah, absolutely, I could do that. But there's not really been anything like that. So, but yeah, no, I can do that, and I probably will do that. But nothing like that's come up.
But currently your life's being taken up by Borderlands 3, so
yeah. To be honest, it's Borderlands 3 now for just until I'm done with
dawn.
It.
Borderlands 3 and until dawn. No, just Borderlands 3. What's your hot take on this whole situation with Judd? Just, I mean, literally, all you've done is talk to a girl. Like we're acting like it's like some marriage proposal or some shit.
I mean, it could go either way. Like, but as well, Neve...
You can tell how nice Helena's trying to be right now.
No, I actually do think it could... But the conversation me and you had the other day, like, I do think it could go either way. My only issue with it is that Neve rarely comes back to Barnsley. She lives in Melton, and she works at a spa.
Melton?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Where's Melton? Let me do some Googling, see how far away
you're
Melton
a
is.
Is that a fucking
Melton.
toenail that you've been, like, fiddling with?
Yeah.
Get rid of it.
No.
That's gross.
It's my toenail. Leave me alone.
That's my lucky toenail, you bitch.
Melton to Barnsley.
Why did you say Melton so weird? You went Melton.
Because I was trying to type it as well. It's only an hour and a half away. It's not that bad. It's near Loughborough and Grantham. And yeah, Leicester, I guess. Yeah, it's near Leicester. Weren't you, if, like, your jobs go well and that, Judd, weren't you thinking of maybe moving to Sheffield?
Well, I was when my job was over there, but my job's not over there anymore, so...
So if you did, like, move out and that, would you just move to Barnsley? Like, just somewhere else in Barnsley?
Yeah, I'd probably move to, like, the...
Like, town centre?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's... Yeah, there's a good like apartment complex thing in the middle of town, so I'd probably do that.
Something that I do want to ask is, Helena, how long have you known Neve? This is a podcast, so if you don't say anything, people are going to think it's crashed.
No, I'm trying to think. A long time, about 6 years, 7 years.
6 years. So you've probably known a lot of boyfriends that she's had. If she has had a lot of boyfriends, she might have not even had any boyfriends.
She's only had really 2 significant ones. But...
So tell us about them then.
I never met them.
What the fucking sort of friend are you?
I don't know if I didn't meet him because it didn't last very long, or if I didn't meet him because she didn't want me to meet him. By that, not because she's embarrassed of me, but because I don't know.
Right. Okay.
From what I got, they were a bit weird. So you're in with a chance.
Okay. Right. That works well. That works in your favour.
I mean, I think that's the impression I've got. I could be wrong.
What do you think of that, Judd?
Fine. Like, it's all I really got from that is she's had 2 boyfriends and she's embarrassed by Helena. So that's all I got from that.
And she's embarrassed by Helena.
Judd, why have you got a slit in your eyebrow?
That's just natural. Like, he hasn't actually done that. That's just how his eyebrows grow.
That's just always been like that.
Such a freak.
Yeah. But
yeah.
At least my friends like to have me around with them, Helena. So.
Well, I mean, you say that, but most of the time you're interacting with your friends, it's through like the internet. So.
Yeah.
No, I'd say I'm meeting up with my friends more than I am talking to them now. Especially that's especially going to be the case with you.
La-di-da. Oh, I have real life friends. Ooh,
See, thing is, you don't have any friends, Jake. So you can't
Excuse
say
me, who's the one who's actually got someone in the room with them right now?
That's your girlfriend. That don't count.
Yeah, but I get to pork her, so that's pretty good.
I get to pork my friends. Do you think Tom doesn't let me pork him?
I get this. Oh, did you? Do you remember that time, right, when we got ordained on stream?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you get emails from them? Like, being like, oh, happy anniversary of spreading joy to the world and marrying people?
No, I've never got anything like that.
I get emails from them saying stuff like that. Yeah.
I've never got that. I've never had it. Maybe they don't want me in their church, their free church.
They even the church doesn't like you.
Everybody likes me.
He does have a magnetic personality.
Yeah,
I do.
For freaks in the train station.
I am magnetic.
I am the captain now.
Tessoteric saying, reasonable question, why does Helena not have cleavage? How are you supposed to get big on Twitch? That is a good point, actually. Show a bit of your boobs so we can get some more viewers, and then... There we go, that's nice.
I do have a lot of cleavage, but I'm not going to show you all.
Now, Judd, show your cleavage.
I've got big cleavage. Hold on.
We're going to have a cleavage competition, because I'll win.
Judd,
cleavage.
Oh god, Judd's got a big hairy chest.
That's really gross.
Do you like my hairy cleavage? Do you like when I play with my hairy cleavage?
Do you think you could go on something like what's Omegle or
Chatterbait?
No, I didn't mean like porn sites. I meant on like Omegle or something and like convince people that like that was your tits.
If we shaved his chest, yeah, we could put a bra. We could shave his ass and put like a bra on his ass cheeks and make them look like boobs.
I have got a fat ass. Like I've got like a really nice. Yeah, I have got a really nice ass.
Judd, have you ever thought about being a cam person, like jerking your dick on camera for like money and that? Because you know someone who does that, don't you? That like obviously not a guy. He knows a female.
Yeah, she jerks her dick.
She jerks her dick. Judd actually went on her nudie stream like as a guest. Like she's in America, so it were like he went with like in the same room as her and like promoted our stream on that. So we had to like give her a shout out as well.
Yeah,
how did you not know that? You listened to the podcast.
I must have missed that part.
Have you ever thought about doing that before?
I enjoyed that stream.
No,
not really, because the whole thing is like to sort of tease it and like sort of like squeeze people. Well, yeah,
I think you have to have the dick for it as well, though, don't you? You have to have. And do you think you've got the dick for it? I think.
I reckon I got the dick for it.
I think you could do it.
The thing is, I'm trying to say is that you've got to like squeeze these people for money, and you got to be like, you're only getting this if I get like a certain amount of Robux, and it's
a certain amount of V-Bucks.
Yeah, a certain amount of V-Bucks, and it's the thing is, I just get carried away with it, and I just like want to get into it, but the thing is that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to like take it slow, and you're supposed to tease people, and you're supposed to make them work for it.
I love how that's your main problem, not like the social stigma or anything like that.
I've never cared about anything like that. I've never cared about social stigma.
Oh shit, Tessoterics made a point. You have sponsors, Jake. You were talking about cam girls and dicks.
Who are the sponsors?
Well, the way I'll explain it to you as well, because I explained it to your last podcast. The way it works is that and
he'll explain it slowly because you're a woman.
Did you catch that? I'll let me just yeah. No, the way sponsors normally work when like big podcasts get them is a company will contact the people who do the podcast and be like, we'll give you like a certain amount of money for like a shout out on like 3 podcasts or something like that. But the way we do it is the site that we use to upload them has like a built-in sponsorship sort of scheme thing where they'll match you with sponsors, and you record a little ad for that sponsor, and it automatically puts it in at the start for you, and you just get a bit of money per play of the podcast. And it's really good because even if you've got no viewers and they've not matched you with any sponsors yet, like us, you can have that website that we use to upload them as your first sponsor. So currently, Anchor is our sponsor for the podcasts, and that's how it works.
What is Anchor, by the way?
It's literally
It's
kind of
like a big thing that like ships drop to like make sure that the boat doesn't move when they're in the water.
Do you know what's annoying? I can mute Judd if he annoys me, but I can't mute Helena in real life.
Yeah.
Shall I just knock her out or something? Oh.
Well, yeah, just do something like that, because the thing is, I'm actually funny. I know I'm weird and like quite annoying, but I actually do bring something to the table.
Judd, wait, let me tell you something.
Helena brings two things to the table.
Judd, let me tell you something real quick. I just want
to... No.
Go on.
Okay, that was it. She just wanted to cough in the microphone. That's like the less funny version of when you do that thing and like blow into your microphone, but you can't do that now.
I can't do that, can I?
Yeah.
I can blow into my hand. I can go...
Jesus Christ.
Not the same, is it?
Oh, God, okay. So, I don't even know what to talk about. Helena, you say something to entertain people. Quick, people will think it's crashed.
So I've been in the coast, like, the past couple of days.
Oh, my God. What a boring thing to talk about. Oh, for fuck's sake.
That's not entertaining.
It's alright though, because Tessoteric says you get matched with the dildo making company, it would be so great. Yeah, they might match us with Bad Dragon.
Yeah.
And he also says, should I just knock her out? You got it, Jake. You just use the chloroform. I was thinking more of like an RKO or something like that. You know, out of nowhere, as they say. Stop looking so glum. It's okay. Why don't you tell us about one of those hilarious times when your brother used to bully you when you was a child?
No, tell us about how when you were in the coast, like you were just bobbing up and down in the water or something.
I was in Whitby.
There's water in Whitby that you can bob up and down in, you know. Go on then, the floor is yours. This better be interesting now though.
I don't think
because we've razzed you on it.
I don't think it's gonna be though.
You've got to make it interesting. At least make something up that's interesting. Go on. Go on. You know what? Go on then. Tell us one of the stories about when your brother like bullied you as a child, because they're funny.
Okay, so one of them was my brother. Well, most of my brother used to do this thing.
Speak up there. Look, that's where the microphone is. See, you're talking like at that glass of water. The microphone's there, you know. Go on.
You're making me nervous.
Just tell a story.
So when me and my brother were little, my brother's about 2 years older than me, and he used to do this. He used to do pranks on me and like essentially.
Well.
Essentially,
they weren't really pranks. They were kind of just evil.
Just bully me.
So one time when I was asleep, he like cut off my toe, and like he just baked it into a pie, and then he fed it to my grandmother. And I was like, "You fucking scum."
Okay, so anyway, and we used to have. I think my mum and dad were out, and it was my nan looking after us because we were only young. I think I was about like 6 or 7, and so Josh would have been about like 8 or 9. And we used to have like this like old like sofa and chair, but like the arms on it was really high. And he said to me like he planked between them, like balanced between them. And Tessa has to concentrate to understand me. That's really sad.
Just stop being so fast when you're talking. That's what I almost said to you. You're talking very fast.
Then why did you ask me to tell a story?
I didn't say tell a story at Lightning McQueen speed, did I?
Whoa, Lightning McQueen! Well, how about I just
speed.
fuck off and then you can do it, and I'll just go, and I'll go watch it by myself. How about that?
Yeah, Jay.
I'm not listening to you. I'm doing something. Go on, carry on, but slowly, so the German man can understand what you're saying.
So like, it was these really high like sofa arm and sofa chair, and he like balanced between it because we were like messing about like play fight and stuff like that, and he like balanced himself between these two like armchairs, and it was quite high up, but not that high for a kid. And he said to me,
"High," like that, like Judd gets high. Am I right, everyone?
I don't do that.
Am I right, boys and girls?
I don't like the taste of weed.
Legal reasons, that's a joke. And he was like, "Oh, Helena, look, you give it a go." And I was like, I'm a bit unsure. I was like, I'm not going to do that. And he was like, no, come on.
How old were you?
I'm about like 6 or 7.
And so he's like 8.
Yeah, 8 or 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I was like, I'm not gonna do that. I don't want to do that. And he was like, no, come on, do it. So I was like, I did it, and it was. I was like, oh my god, that's like sick. It feels like you're flying. That's great. So then he said like, oh, I'm gonna do it again. So he did it, and we both did it a couple of times. And then this one time, me thinking everything's okay because nothing had happened to me, I did it. And I'm like balancing there with my arms like that, like on one side, because they were quite far apart. And then like
again, it's a podcast. You know when you do a gesture, they can't see it. So you have to describe.
So my arms were stretched out in front of me, and I was just about gripping onto it.
Give me a sec.
So it's all right. Carry on. Judd's mum's just shouting him.
And then my feet were like on the other end, like just like not gripping onto it. Obviously, you can't grip with your feet, but. And then my brother came in from nowhere and just went like judo chop, and then like smacked me in the back with his arm, like just like judo chop to the back of my arm, and the back of my back, like just like judo chop my back. So I fell face first and like bashed my face into the floor, gave myself a nosebleed. Obviously, I start crying, as any 6-year-old would. And like I ran up and like I was really upset, and my nana like shouted. She didn't come in and see what had happened, but she shouted to us because she'd heard Josh do something to make me cry, and just said like, "Oh, like stop misbehaving and whatever." But like didn't actually come in and see what had happened. And I ran upstairs to the bathroom, and I was like crying in the bathroom, like trying to sort out like my bloody nose, like all on my own. And like Josh is like downstairs, like doing whatever, didn't give a shit, like just did not care that he'd like potentially broken my nose because there was blood everywhere, like did not give a shit. So then my nana like came into that room like in like 2 minutes later, like into the living room where we were messing about where it happened.
Just slow down a little bit. I don't want to aggravate you, but he's German. He doesn't do English so well as we do.
It's a stupid
because you can tell
German.
a story slower than that, though. You don't have to speak so quick.
It's a disgusting German, man.
Carry on, keep going.
And like she saw the blood on the floor, the bit of blood that was on the floor, and was like, "What's happened?" And asked Josh what happened. Josh was like, "I don't know." Like just shrugged it off. I was like, "I don't know what's happened." Obviously, he did.
You bled from that?
Yeah, bashed my.
Yes, smacked her nose onto the floor.
I landed face first.
Oh right, yeah,
Face
okay,
first.
all right, okay.
I landed face first onto the floor. Yeah, and I bashed my nose. And then my nana came upstairs to try and find me, and found me like in the bathroom with all these like bloody tissues, like crying. So that's one thing.
I don't know how your brother got away with some of the stuff he got away with.
Didn't I get away with knocking you out with a keyboard though?
Well, kind of,
but you
I
asked
also
for it.
Yeah, kind of. We were a bit older as well. Like I'd have been like 13, 14, so and it were fine. You just all that happened. That story was I can understand her. Everything is okay, right? We're okay now. And what happened was we had as our dad had a bunch of like old computer equipment like in his office. I'm twirling my chair. Well, you keep pushing me away. And we found it, and we knew it were like stuff that he wasn't using anymore. And we just went downstairs to him and asked him, "Dad, if we tidy it all up, can we smash this stuff up in the garden?" And he gave us a bit of like a disappointed, "Yeah, I guess," because it's like, God, my kids are fucking autismos, aren't they? So that's all we were doing. And wait, Tessa Turk says, "Jake, you want to tell me about your birthday thing? Is it over? Can you tell me the secret?" Oh yeah, I can tell you about that after this story. And what happened was I asked you to throw this old computer keyboard for me to like whack it with this. It weren't a bat, but it was sort of like a rounder's bat length, like a police truncheon, like a police baton sort of length of wood, and we're just gonna whack it with that. But you threw it really hard and straight at my head, and it hit me right in the middle of the head and knocked me out on the grass, like full on, just knocked me out instantly. And you just didn't know what to do, and just were like, "Shit," and just went upstairs and started playing on PlayStation. And you didn't tell Dad or anything, and I just woke up like, "What the fuck?"
That's really funny.
All that happened from it was, though, I woke up and I was like, "Oh shit!" And I just went and got you and made you tidy it up with me. That's all that happened. Like didn't.
That and you've got a dent in your forehead.
Oh yeah, I've got a dent in my skull.
Yeah, he's got a little dent in his forehead, but that's it.
It's not really that little. It's quite significant. It's like a line down the front of my forehead. What Tesoteric was on about is that on stream, he was asking what I'd got for you for your birthday.
Oh, right, okay.
And I didn't want to say on stream because it was the night before your party. Your party. And I didn't know whether you were going to watch it or not, so I didn't want to spoil anything. Do you want to take that?
That boob's really bounced. Then that really hurt. Yeah, he got me a tape deck and even like made me a tape with all like this because we do a lot of music together. And he's done like a lot of music just for me, so like it had all that on it, and then as well like songs that like we like kind of share as like songs that we really like, and it was really sweet. And he like designed all the tape and stuff outside, and it was really nice. And I almost cried, but I'm no little bitch.
Yeah, Judd, you little bitch.
Yeah, Judd, little bitch.
You are a
I
little
never
bitch
cried.
though, Judd.
I've never cried.
But you whine a lot though. You are a little bitch.
I've never whined either.
I've never even drunk wine. I'm completely sober. Tell us another story. Tell us the one about like when he kept going down the slide.
Oh yeah. So when the first couple of years I was alive, my brother did not like me. He didn't.
Tesoteric says. So it was a proposal. So you are happily married now. Congrats. It wasn't that, but you can think that if you want.
Do you have a ring?
I did buy her a ring, but not like. It wasn't a proposal ring, it was just a ring.
We talked about that magician, didn't we?
Yeah.
The magician
Yeah.
was sick.
He was
loved
good.
The magician.
But tell us, keep going with that story.
So he didn't like me the first few years I was alive.
Her brother, not the magician.
That would be weird if the magician didn't like me. No, my brother did not like me. And for like his, think about like second birthday, my mum and dad got him like a slide for the back garden because he used to like going on the one at the park. But for some reason, did not like this slide that they had. Did not like it. And like, he got it just before I was born. So, and he'd never used it really, unless my mum forced him to go down it, which she didn't realise at the time she was forcing him, she thought he liked it. And so for about a year, he never used it.
Sorry, just the word year sounds funny.
I don't like you. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go and get Taco Bell and then go to the cinema.
Oh, we are gonna get Taco Bell though, and beer. Did you bring my beer?
No, I didn't bring you fucking beer. I've not been to Huddersfield.
Oh, that's fine. You've been to the coast. Carry on. I'm sorry. Keep going. The word year is funny though. You have to admit, it does sound funny.
Yeah. So for the first 12 months. He didn't use it. He did not bother with it at all. As much as my mum and dad tried to like get him used to it, he did not like it. And I was about 12 months old. I'm not going to say that word. And I'd just started. I mean, I'd started walking a month or so before that. And I don't even think I was 12 months old. I think I was about 10 months old.
Okay. Now it's funny every time you say that instead.
So I was just under a year old, and Josh was outside in the garden playing it. It was just my mum and my nana who were in the house with me, and I was like at like the back door. And I could see him on the see him in the garden. I was like, oh, I really want to go outside and garden. I really want to go outside.
You wanted to play with your brother?
Yeah, I wanted to play with him. So my mum and I'm like, look, let her outside, but we'll just keep an eye on her, just make sure that that we know where she is. So I went outside and I was running around in like the garden. I was chasing Josh and Josh was running away from me because he didn't want to be with me. And then my mum.
Who would want to be with you?
Yeah, he didn't want to be with her intimately.
He didn't want to be with you. I don't know. They have a weird relationship.
Do they?
They're very close.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
That's gross.
I mean,
you fuck your brother.
No, I don't.
You did star in that one episode of Game of Thrones at one time, though.
Yeah, where she
Oh.
fucks her brother.
So you look genuinely mad.
I am.
Look, for legal reasons, that's a joke. See? It's a joke. It's all jokes. Keep going.
You're doing that thing that I hate that everyone does. Is that, you know what it is?
What?
Interrupt me when I'm talking.
With jokes, with ha-has.
So they took their eyes off me for like 1 minute, and then the next thing that they knew, that I was nowhere to be seen. They could not see me, and they were like, "Oh my god, where is she?" And then when I was a kid, I didn't have a lot of hair, so I used to have like a little almost like a little palm tree of hair just on top of my head. And they said that all they just saw was this like little palm tree of hair just come up over the top of the slide. Now they wouldn't even let Josh go on the slide on his own, and he was 2 years old. So like letting like a 10-month-old baby like go on it on their own, they were terrified. And they just saw this little like fluff of hair just come up over the side, and they just saw me with like a massive smile on my face. And they said like they were both just stood there like frozen, like terrified, like, oh my god, what's she gonna do? And all I did was just slide down the slide, and I loved it. And then I just ran around and did it again. So then for some reason that made Josh be like, oh, I like the slide now. And I think it was purely because I liked it, so now I'm not allowed to have it because he likes it. I think it was that kind of thing. So then he started wanting to go on the slide all the time. And then later that summer, because he started now to try and spend time with me, I would basically do anything. If he wanted me to do something, that sounds weird, but like if he wanted to play with me, but if by play with me he just meant torture me, I was like, yeah, I'll do that. Stop laughing.
Stop laughing, please.
He used to do this thing that I'd be in the garden just like minding my own business, and he'd go to sit at the top of the slide, and he refused to say my name. He just used to call me girl. So he'd sit at the top of this,
which I find incredible. Like that's so like insulting.
I know. Like
he wouldn't even say her name. He just used to go, girl.
Like so then he'd sit at the top of the slide and go, girl to me like from like across the garden, and I'd look over to him and he'd go, sit here, girl, sit here. So he'd get me to come and sit at the bottom of the slide. Now, because I loved him so much and I wanted him to be my friend, I'd be like, yeah, okay, then I will. So, like, I'd come and sit at the bottom of the slide, and then he'd come down the slide at full pelt, hit me, knock me over. So I'd start to cry, obviously, and then he'd go, no, girl, it's okay, girl. And then I'd be fine, and then I'd run off and do my own thing again. He'd go back up to the top of the slide and go, girl, and just keep doing it over and over. And me being an idiot, every time I'd be like, yeah, okay, I'll come sit at the bottom of the slide.
He used to get sliding down the slide and just kicking her in the head.
To be fair, though, you did keep going back for more. Like,
yeah,
she was 10 months old.
I was a baby.
Yeah, but come on, that's a pretty small brain baby. That's a pretty stupid baby.
Big brain, big forehead, big brain.
You should, well, you'd think, but it must just be rattling around inside. Like, you just kept going back for more. Why?
I just like to be abused.
Why didn't you tell your mum or something either? Could you talk? At 10 months old, do babies talk at 10 months old?
Not really. Not very well. Odd word.
Okay. I remember a time when I hurt someone. Do you want to know that story?
Jesus Christ.
I mean, we're just telling a bunch of stories about people getting hurt when Judd hurt me.
Look at this photo of me and my dog.
Show everyone there. Don't look, it's a photo of Helen and a dog licking some ice cream.
It's me and my dog on holiday.
There's a photo of Helen licking a dog.
Yes, me licking a dog.
Yeah.
The time when I hurt someone was at high school. I think it was either it would have been year 10. We would have been 15. Is the age for year 10. And did you play much bench ball at school, Judd, and also Helena too?
Yeah, I played quite a bit of bench ball.
So, Judd, give us a descriptor of what bench ball is for people who might not know.
I can't do that. I can only remember that I played it. I can't remember
Do you not know the rules for bench ball?
I cannot do that.
I can't legally bring myself to talk about that.
We cannot discuss what happened in bench ball.
I cannot do bench ball.
What happens in bench ball stays in bench ball. Well, what happens? Basically, what it is normally we did it in the school hall. Like you need essentially there's two benches opposite each other. I'd say with a gap of about 50 meters or so. And like a line down the middle. It's a bit like dodgeball, except there's people stood on the bench who have to try not to get hit, and then there's one person starting off like on the ground already who's kind of like a blocker, like a defensive person, and there's two teams on each side, and I'm explaining this really badly, Anna. And the blockers have to throw balls and try and hit the people on the bench and like get them out. And when they're out, they go down and become a blocker. I think that's the best I can describe it. If not, just fucking Google bench ball.
That's kind of what I remember.
I didn't think that's how it was. I thought what it was is that you start with one person like who gets to throw the ball at people.
Yeah, and block the people who are on the bench.
Yeah, but what I thought happened is that. No, listen. Don't play the video. Listen. I think I know how to explain.
I know.
it.
Just explain it. I'm just.
So I think what.
Go on.
Because what I thought it was that if you hit someone off the bench on their team, then they can then if you hit someone off the bench on their team, then the person on the bench or a person on the bench on your team can get off the bench and join the people throwing.
No, that don't make sense because you have to win by getting everyone off the bench. I don't know. It's not important to the story, honestly. Just look up bench ball. It's a fun game. Tessoteric's saying, I have a half-sister and she loved me when... Hold on, I'm going to read that out after I've done this story because it's quite long and it seems like something else we can talk about. So what happened was, in the school hall that we used to play bench ball in, there was like tiered seating that you could push into the wall and then it would like just be like one block in front of the in front of the wall that you could get on top of. And often balls essentially got stuck on this ledge that you'd have to climb up to, and you'd have to like jump down. It were fairly high up, and a guy who was on my team had gone up to get a ball from there. He'd climbed up, and he were like a scrawny, small, skinny guy, and but thing is, it were quite a decent jump to jump down. Once he just threw the ball down and tried to jump down, and I were going to catch him, like to make sure he were alright. Cause it was going to jump. It was going to jump into Jake's arms. I were going to like catch him when he came down because it were quite high. That's what I was saying. It's quite a high thing to jump down off of. So, and you couldn't really climb back down, so we were going to jump off, and I were going to catch him. But I completely fucked it up. And all I actually did was like push his legs from underneath him so he landed on his side rather than his legs. And I thought, fuck, oh no. And I thought he's probably just...
Oh, fuck, shit.
I thought that probably really hurt, but I'm sure he's fine. He broke his arm in 2 places. He broke his arm. Thing is that the type of impact he had...
You breaking your arm is karma for that.
No. It was an accident. But the thing is, the type of fall it was, honestly, it shouldn't have broken someone's arm. It was only because this guy was fucking so scrawny and, like, must have had a massive calcium deficiency or something, because it wasn't bad enough to break an arm. But, Jesus Christ.
I love how you've broken this guy's arm. I love how you've broken this guy's arm, and you're sat there going, well, is this fault? Is this fault? He's got a calcium deficiency.
No. We didn't know that he's broken his arm like that day. He'd gone, because it was a Friday, so he came back on the Monday with a cast on. And that's what he broke.
She just came to you like, Jake, you broke my fucking arm. You're just like, well, no, have a calcium deficiency.
Well, you should be scrawny then, should you?
No, we were laughing about it. But thing is, it wasn't my fault, I promise. Anyway, Tessoteric's saying, I have a half-sister and she loved me when I was 16, so she wanted me to go with her everywhere, even if it's to the toilet, or go to her horse or something. Is that meant to be a house? Or horse? Maybe horse. So we pushed a couch up to my bed together so she can sleep by my side. My parents looked at me like, fuck, he's a pedo, because my sister was 10 at this point. But I didn't have a choice. She was just forcing me, otherwise she would just instantly cry. Does sound like you had a choice, gonna be honest.
Yeah, just let her cry.
Yeah, she should get over it. Like...
Yeah, just get over it. She shouldn't have a calcium deficiency, should she?
Yeah, that does sound quite pedo.
My response to everything, shouldn't have a calcium deficiency.
You shouldn't put that.
Yeah, it's your fault you got a calcium deficiency, isn't it?
I'll tell you why you shouldn't put your phone in my wallet. Because your phone has an NFC chip in it that lets you do contactless payments on cards, and my card also has, so they try to read each other all the time, and it drains your battery like mad.
Oh.
and
Shut
it
the
also
fuck
breaks
up.
the NFC chip. That's
Shut up.
just an interesting fact there for you.
Stop talking, nerd.
Okay. Well, I kicked Judd because he was annoying me, so that's that. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm back. Look at this. That was.
I wasn't sure if that was going to be like the end of the podcast. Then we were just going to leave it.
No, we still need to hear a story of how you hurt someone again, Judd.
I also have another one, but I'll tell that after.
Oh, I hurt someone.
Yeah.
You hurt me.
I
Judd.
don't know if
hurt
we're
a
gonna have
soul.
time for 2 hurting stories. We'll try it.
You hurt me, Judd.
When have I hurt you?
You hurt me real bad.
Just in
Oh,
general.
do you remember that time I pushed that guy out of a wheelchair
No.
at high school? You were there.
Was that?
Yeah.
Jesus H.
Fuck
Christ.
me.
Jesus Christ.
There was this. There were. Do you remember there were two guys?
Esoteric says the problem was that my parents were like, "It's your fault she's crying," so they said I have to take care of her. My response to that would have been, "No."
You're a child. You're also a child. You shouldn't have to take care of another child.
But yeah.
They had a kid. They
do
should
you
look
remember?
after it.
Do you remember how there was 2 people in wheelchairs at
Yeah.
our high school?
Only
One of
2.
them was like friends with me, but he was a nice guy. And just in case he ever listens to this, don't take this the wrong way, but he was weird. He was weird around me. He's like, you know what I was saying in that previous podcast about like that person who's like, "Can we be friends?" or something like that.
Yeah.
He was one of those.
He was actually a bit of an arsehole. I didn't like him that much.
No. The one I'm on about wasn't. He was nice, but the guy who, like the other one who was he in your year? The
I don't
younger
know.
one. There was like I'm talking about the guy who was in the year above me. Let me guess. The guy in the wheelchair has a calcium deficiency.
He probably has a calcium deficiency.
Probably. But he always wanted to like like your mates if they come round to your house or whatever. When they leave, as lads, like girls maybe, but lads don't like hug each other. On the way out and that. And he always wanted to like hug me on the way out.
Mm.
He was a bit like Daniel, who we know, but kind of a bit worse.
And he'd rub you a bit. He'd rub your little willy.
No, he gave me a bunch of old Xbox 360 games that he didn't need anymore because he bought a PS3 and had that instead, but which I loved. Like, I got Saints Row 2 out of that. I mean, it was all worth it for Saints Row 2.
I think it's because, though, we're not very... We'll hug each other, but, like, we're not, like... If a friend comes up to us and tries to hug us, we're a bit like...
I'm not into being, like, physically affectionate in public at all.
No.
In private? Oh, yeah. Yeah, baby.
Oh. Yeah, but anyway, so we were like,
That was so awful.
I was just, like, licking my tongue at her. It was...
we
Oh, my
were
ears
stood
just
around
now.
like we were stood around outside.
And you're talking about, just to be clear, there was 2 disabled, like, wheelchair kids. I was going to say disabled, but there was more disabled kids, but 2 kids in wheelchairs at our school.
But 2 specifically were in wheelchairs.
One
Yeah,
that was, like,
freaks.
older and one that was younger. The older one,
Yeah.
weird, but nice. But the younger one, kind of a dick. If you've seen that one episode of The In-Betweeners, where that guy's got, like,
Kidney problems, innit?
yeah, and they do, like, a fashion show for him.
Oh,
It
the
was
one where
kinda like
Simon
that.
gets his testicle out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
anyway,
but,
the younger one.
I think it was the older one, you know. Them.
No,
It's the one
because,
who hung out with more with.
was it? Oh, alright then.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
sure it was. But anyway, at some point, like we're all sort of stood there talking, and I remember for some reason this guy was being a dick. Like, I don't know why, but he was just being a dick, and because he was being so much of an asshole, I just went behind him, grabbed hold of the 2 handlebars on his wheelchair and like pushed him out of his chair. Like, I just lifted the chair up until he fell out and then just walked off.
What year were you in?
Like 7 or 8, because it was back when it was St.
It
Michael's.
would have been.
Yeah.
It would have been him.
Yeah.
But yeah, because it was being an asshole, so I literally just pushed
Thing is, though, I can tell exactly what will have happened. He won't have been being an arsehole. He will have just been being a bit weird, and you'll have just not liked it. So you'd have been like, fuck this guy, he's kind of weird. I'm going to tip him away.
You can't do that.
like tipped him out of his wheelchair, and then he just got back in it, and he just
You're,
wheeled
like,
off,
dragging his tail.
and we never read anything of it again.
It's already bad enough, right? The spot that we used to hang out in at that school was at the opposite end of the school field, and this is like 300 meters of field that he had to wheel on. Like, all the way there, it were a fucking marathon for him already. Then Judd fucking tips him out at the end.
But the thing is,
God.
like,
Tessa
that's
Turek
only
says the
'cause-
guy fell out of this chair and it was like the "You Died" meme on Dark Souls.
The thing is, like, I'm never that awful of a person.
You're never
like,
an
it was-
orphan either. You've not been an
I'm
orphan.
never an orphan. Not yet. I've not been an orphan yet. I'm never that awful of a person.
I've never been awful to orphans yet. I mean,
See, you know the reason he's not an orphan, because he's not got a calcium deficiency, so people want him.
Yeah, people want me. I've not had
People
I'm not
want
a calcium deficient.
I'm not so
freak.
sure that people want Judd.
People want me.
So Tarek says he likes my hair. Is it blue? I can't really see with the filter.
Let's find out. Look, does that look blue to you? Does that look blue?
It's
Eh?
purple.
Does it look blue? Podcast.
Can't see.
Wow, that looks nice.
Yeah, no, I'd never normally do something like that, but it's just because he was just being an arsehole.
It wouldn't have been. I'm telling you, it would have just been Judd being a
Judd,
little fucking
it don't
shit.
matter. It don't matter, right? Judd, it don't matter what he were doing. You don't tip someone out of a wheelchair.
Just to put that in context,
He should have a calcium deficiency, should he?
only like a few months ago, before this guy started being friends with me, both his sister and his mum had died within a week. Andy was paraplegic and had been in a coma for like a month at some point.
You're just making
Honestly.
shit up now.
No,
You are
seriously,
making shit
this
up
is
now.
why I hated that. Like, I didn't want to be friends with him because he were weird and like, I just didn't. He didn't gel with me. I didn't get on with him.
You didn't
I couldn't be like,
vibe.
I couldn't be like, look, dude, I don't want to be friends with you because I'd have felt
Dude,
so
you
bad.
vibe.
Oh shit, you just fucking grabbed her. It looked so brutal. Don't ever do that again.
No, it's okay. Don't mean it. He's a softie.
Oh
yeah. Oh yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, this honestly, this guy had been through the most tragedies I've ever heard in my life, and Judd don't fucking care. He just tips him out.
Judd, you're an arsehole.
He shouldn't have a calcium deficiency.
FBI, open you.
Open up, I think.
That's close enough.
FBI,
Open you.
open up.
Open you two.
Don't be a freak.
Don't be a freak. Thing is, though, you don't want to say that, but yeah, because they don't have to be.
Yeah.
Another guy in our school, right, who was a freak as well, who I have even less sympathy for than that wheelchair guy, was a guy who legitimately had a phobia of buttons,
Oh yeah, this guy.
of like shirt
This guy.
buttons. You know, like buttons you'd get on a t-shirt.
Yeah,
on
I
a
remember
shirt.
that.
He had to have
I
like
don't think
Velcro shirts.
Yeah,
I don't think I ever saw him. Like,
it was in my.
oh, maybe I did, but
that guy
I
is
don't
just
remember you
like
telling me.
me, and you're talking to me. Was he black? Are you discriminating him? I don't know what he means. I don't know what that means either. Do you know what that means? I don't know. Anyway, there's a kid who was scared of buttons, and he just did not help himself. He was like so typically like Hollywood movie nerd. You know what I mean? And he got bullied all the time. Obviously, of course he did. Not that he should have been bullied, but you know, kids like that are gonna get bullied.
People who are scared of actual shirt buttons deserve to be bullied. At that point, you just deserve to be bullied. I'm
hey,
sorry.
Judd, I have a phobia
Yeah.
of geese.
That's a little bit more understandable.
It's definitely more understandable than buttons.
And
It's
the
still
reason-
silly. It's still
Yeah.
silly, but it's much more understandable than shirt buttons.
The reason why is when I was 3, I was out with my nanan in the pram, and I got attacked by some geese, and I couldn't get away from them because I was in the pram, and like they bit me and
Yeah.
everything. So now I don't like them. They're evil. Hate them. Evil geese.
I think I've heard that story before.
Well,
but
this one time, you know that guy with the buttons I was on about?
Yeah.
You know, like, at the end of your last year at school, when you've done all your GCSEs, but you still have to be in school legally, how the teachers just, like, fuck it all off and, like, let you watch films and stuff. Well, we were in English, and as teacher, we had a vote on what movie to watch, and one of the movies on the vote was Coraline, the one where they've got buttons on their eyes.
Oh my
and
god!
Obviously, because he was in the class, everyone voted for that film. So she started putting it on, and he was literally going, "No, no, please, no!" And, like, he was like proper panicking at it back in the class, and she was like, "What? What's the matter? Oh my god!" She didn't know what to do. So, like, he explained, and she, like, turned it off, and we were all like, "Oh." But it was funny for that one moment. And instead, right, she put on fucking Jaws.
Oh, that's
like,
a sick film.
Like, yeah, but, I mean, if you're avoiding horror, come on.
Like, well, no, he's not avoiding horror, he's avoiding buttons.
No,
God,
but the
Jacob, it's
teacher's
like you
avoiding...
don't understand.
Yeah, it's like you don't even listen, Jake. He's scared of buttons, not sharks.
Wait. Testoteric says, both my parents died, and I lived alone with my sister for 5 years now, and you're talking to me, what's wrong with the other guy? That's not the problem we have. We don't have a problem with, like, tragedies happening to people. It's that this other guy...
Not like people in wheelchairs.
No.
No.
It's the guy was weird. He was, like, creepy, and the way he acted was kind of he was a nice guy,
dirty,
but he was kind of weird. No. See, Judd, you know when I'm actually trying to explain something like this, and you're trying to crack some jokes, people never know what's a joke or not. So,
because you're so deadpan.
It's the problem I had was that if it was just that he was kind of weird and like not fun to be around, I wouldn't have had a problem with just being like, no, I don't really want to hang out with you. But because I felt so bad for him that like a bunch of like shit had happened to him in his life, I didn't really want to do that as much. I didn't want to like be mean to him.
It's hard, isn't it? It's hard.
Yeah.
Especially if they are like overall like a nice person.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, they've never done anyone any sort of harm. If they're just like a bit of a weirdo.
And to be fair, I managed to get out of it, right? And I'll tell you how I managed to get out of it. Because
you just see it, you shoved a button in his face, and he went, "Oh, weird."
No. This is a different guy. I'm talking about the wheelchair guy who I managed to get out of a friendship with. What happened was, right, I started dating a girl, right, and I were kind of friends with this guy before I started dating this girl. Quiet, you. And he was getting jealous of her. Like, he started getting jealous of her. Not like...
He was getting jealous? Okay, yeah, go on.
It was kind of like because I was spending less time with him and to spend time with her, which is kind of fair. But it wasn't that weird, the level he was, like, jealous, but he was weird. And I essentially, like... probably a bit overreacted, overdramatic, on purpose, like being mad at him for that, like for being jealous and like essentially thinking you were trying to like break us up when I don't think he quite was, but would have probably enjoyed it if we'd have broken up. And I kind of got out of it by doing that. He actually like contacted me, like he had like messaged me on Facebook like a few years later, and
yeah, he did.
You're dragging this wire about. So I kind of was like, I kind of pied him off a bit. I kind of was like, oh yeah, it's good to hear from you, but go away.
You didn't even give him that. Just completely ignore him on Facebook. I do that.
Well, I've not heard from him in like 7 years. 7 years?
Yeah.
How old am I? No, not 7 years. About 4 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
4 or 5 years. I'd have been 17 or 18 last time I heard from him.
He contacted you though while we've been dating.
No, definitely not. It was definitely earlier than that. Definitely earlier than that.
Someone contacted you from school. I remember you telling me that they were weird.
There was plenty of people who were weird at school.
Was it me?
Yeah, it was Judd.
Shit, yeah.
No, I remember it was when I was with you, but that was primary school. It was someone from primary school, and it was this fucking massive lad. He was huge. He were about 6 foot in year 6.
Really?
He were massive, and he were like not. He weren't fat. He were like built as well. He weren't ripped, but he were like just huge. He were like Hodor, and he had the same name as me, and I just pretended I didn't know who it was. So I like,
why?
I do know who you are, and you were.
No, the guy I'm talking about, the guy who contacted you while we've been dating, it was a guy that you knew and you exchanged a few messages with him, like being like, "Oh, are you?" stuff like that, and then like you pied him off because you didn't want to talk to him. And I'm sure it was the wheelchair guy.
No, it weren't that. It was this big guy, and I was like, no, or I might have been like, oh no, I think you got the wrong person. I don't know. I was kind of like, but he weren't bad in primary school. This guy or anything. He were all right. I got on with him okay. But to be honest, I was like, I just can't be arsed. I know I don't want to be friends with you, so yeah,
Phenomenal.
that's that. Judd or
Yeah.
Helena, tell us one more quick story that we can end on, a good one, and then we need to go out and get some Taco Bell, some starving.
Okay, mine is when I was
Yeah. I want like a creative title from you both, and then we can pick.
Okay, so
In fact, I've already picked. Helena, you tell yours.
Yeah. Good.
Because
I
Judd's
got
on
it.
podcasts more often, and
Yeah.
you're a rarity. You're like a sapphire in the wind.
Yeah, she's untapped. I'm like all tapped out for weird stories. I need to go out and make more.
Yeah, Judd's like you're like a fresh virgin with like that's still got the hymen going on, and Judd's like a loose hooker.
I'm a loose whore. I'm used. I'm in the back
okay,
alley.
well,
of
first of
leaking
all, that analogy
fluids.
was disgusting. Second of all, that's not how vaginas work. And third of all, I'm just gonna carry on.
Yeah, that's all correct. Yes.
Yes, you're right.
So when I was a kid, I had
Esoteric wants you more often on stream.
yeah, sure.
Esoteric wants you.
Fucking what? So, when I was a kid, I had a best friend, and we only used to live around the corner from each other, and we used to we used to call it playing out. It was like, you know, you go out on the on a street and like, ew, you gross, stop it, and like you play with a ball or go on your bikes and stuff like that. But in our like neighborhood, like where we were, it's like a big like estate of like houses. There were a lot of kids, and we all went to the same school around the corner, so we all knew each other. And there were these 3 boys who lived down the street. And they were just little shits, right? They were just awful. I hated
Kids
them.
are though.
Flashiness as
dickheads,
the
right.
willies.
So me and my friend, this girl, are playing down the street, and her mum had walked around the corner to come and take her home, like walk her home, because we were only little. Like we were like 6 or 7, like we weren't old. And so we're down the street with and these lads were bothering us, and they were about the same age as us. Honestly, I think they were even shorter than us, but they were boys, so like, ooh, boys.
Yeah.
And they were just being dickers and stuff like that. Anyway, they made my friend cry. So
How?
I can't remember. Like I can't remember the ins and outs of it.
They like punched her right up the pussy.
No, they did. They did
It went in
something.
and
I think
everything.
they pushed her over or kicked her or something
They
like
pushed
that.
her into the pussy.
They pushed her in the pussy.
This is weird. This is so weird.
So, and my mum says that my dad were like stood on the drive talking to my friend's mum, and they were going like, oh, well, like, where are they? And then my friend came up the street like crying because she was hurt, and like, they were like, what's up? And like she said like, oh, like they've kicked me or pushed me or punched me or whatever they'd done. So my mum and my dad were constantly like, well, where's Eleanor? And
just so you know, I think Judd's frozen. I think he might have crashed, but that's fine. Just continue your
and
story.
then one by one, these 3 boys who had been like bullying us down the street came running past my mum, my dad, and my friend and my friend's mum passed up the street, and came like running past like looking terrified, and they were like, "What's going on?" Like they're worried because I had not come back up yet. The reason they were running terrified up the street is because they had a baseball bat with them. And I'd somehow managed to get said baseball bat off them and were chasing them up the street with the baseball bat, demanding that they apologise to my friend.
Yeah. I mean, so you should. That's the way to do it. That's one your mum likes telling that story.
Yeah, she
it's
does.
One of your mum's favourite stories.
Yeah.
I definitely think at some point it'd be fun to get me and Judd's dad on stream. Like with stream me, Judd, and our dad, and get him to tell some stream stories or something for a bit.
Yeah,
that'd be fun. When are you launching your Twitch channel? Where you're gonna stream Sims 4 on the PS4 constantly and get more followers than us because you've got tits? When's that happening?
Well, I mean, I'm really busy. So.
In the year 1924. What? Okay, that's a good end of a podcast. Thanks for joining us. Tune in next time. Click the links in the description. All of that stuff. Listen to the rest of the podcasts. Sit. My dog's just walked through the door. Okay, goodbye.